Okay, here's lesson 3, addition and subtraction of decimals. To add or subtract decimals, you got to follow these steps. You first have to line the decimal points up. All right, if you don't have that, you are going to be messed up. If they don't have the same number of decimals, just put in some zeros after so that you have the same number of decimals. Add or subtract, and then keep the decimal spot in the same place. We also need to remember to use our adding and subtracting rules. All right, so 81.33 plus 37.49. Let's line up the decimals and add them. So 9 plus 3 is 12. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, and then 8 plus 3 is 11. All right, now here's the decimal there. So we are going to put it there. So our answer is 118.82. 7.328, and we're going to add that to 1.19. Now this is where we don't have the same number of decimals, so I'm just going to add a 0 in there so that I do. 8 plus 0 is 8. That makes 11, 3, 4, 5, and 8. Now there's a decimal point, so I'm going to put it there. So I get 8.518. All right, negative 4.5 plus negative 3.78. Now we have a negative plus a negative, so we get more negative. So we're going to just add these as normal, and then just remember that our answer is going to just be negative at the end. So 5 and 8 is 13, 7, 8, 9, and then 7. So our answer is going to be negative 7.93. All right, to add decimals with different signs, we follow the same rules. We're going to keep the sign of the number with the largest absolute value and subtract the smallest absolute value. So here we have more positive than we do negative. So I know that my answer is going to be positive. So let's take 3.81 and subtract 2.65 and follow normal subtraction rules here. So I can't take away 1 from 5 here. So what I'm going to do is borrow. That makes 6, 1, and then 1. So my answer is going to be 1.16. And it's positive because at the beginning I know I have more positive than negative. Here I have negative 4 and only positive 1. So I have more negatives, so I know my final answer is going to be negative. So take the bigger number and subtract the smaller number. So 8 minus 2 is 6. I don't have enough for the next part, so 13 minus 5 is 8. And then 3 minus 1 is 2. So my answer is actually negative 2.86 because of the absolute value of the numbers. Now this one's close, 3.48 and 3.94. The negatives outweigh the positives, so my answer is going to be negative. So 3.94, we're going to subtract the other one. 14 minus 8 is 6, 4, and 0. So my answer is actually negative 0.46. And they were close, so that makes sense. Subtract an integer by adding its opposite. This is just a positive minus another number, so 5.32 minus 2.18. So my answer is positive 3.14. Now the next one here, I have more negatives than positives. So take the bigger number, subtract the smaller number, but start my answer by saying I know that it's going to be negative, because if we were to put these on a balance scale, the negative numbers would outweigh the positives. So 5 minus 5 is 0, 5 minus 2 is 3, and 3 minus 1 is 2. So my answer is actually negative 2.3. Okay, this one we have to think about a little bit because we're subtracting a negative, so that becomes addition. So I really have negative 5.96 plus 6.83. Now I have more positive than negative, so I know my answer is going to be positive something. So let's subtract the other one. I do not have enough here, so I need to borrow all the way down. 7, 8, so 0.87. And our last one here, They're both negatives. So if I do my little number line, I'm at negative 3.5 and I'm subtracting more. So my answer is actually going to be more negative. So I know it's going to be negative, but I need to add the two numbers to see. Now I didn't have a decimal there, so I just put in a 0. 5 plus 0 is 5, 9 plus 7 is 16, 4, 8, 9, and 4. And my decimal spot goes there, so I'm at negative 4.965. And that's the end of lesson 3.